Okay, we're on. So it's my understanding that since the mayor isn't here, we need to nominate a mayor pro tem. And I turn to our most senior member on the council, Ron Adams, and presume that he would be best to serve in that capacity. So that is my motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
What can I say?
You can vote, but
I'm outvoted 2-1, right?
That's right. Now that you're mayor, you can't vote. So.
All right. Okay, well, we'd like to welcome you out to our city council meeting for April 17th, 2019. We would like to excuse our mayor and Councilman Phillips and Councilman Cousins.
Was it something we
this
said?
Evening? I don't know. Maybe they heard I was coming back, so they all left. I don't know. Anyway, we'd like to excuse them tonight. They're off on other things. Couldn't be here. We'd like to begin the meeting with a prayer offered by Pastor Pete from the True Life Center. Awesome. And then Paul Bittman, our city manager, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Awesome. First, let me say what an honor it is to be able to participate in this capacity. But let's just take a moment and bow our heads, and we'll ask for the Lord's grace. Father in heaven, we come before you tonight, Lord, and we recognize that we don't all think the same. We don't all believe the same, Lord, but one thing we have in common is that we all live here. And Lord, that demands that we learn how to work together and work in a spirit of unity. Lord, I thank you for these public servants who have given so much of their time and their effort and their bandwidth, their emotions to creating an atmosphere where people can live and people can cherish life at a level unlike other places. Lord, we're so grateful to be here. Ask you tonight for your grace and for your wisdom as we process through all of the things that go along with building community. Be with us, keep us safe. Be with those who are unable to be here tonight and bring them back safely as well. We pray it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please stand and join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Paul. Always something, you know. Okay. All right. First item on the agenda is the agenda order approval. Is there anything you want to change on the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. We'll move into the administrative agenda with mayor and council business. Have anything, council, you want to bring up?
Just want to thank Public Works again for all the cleanup. It looks really good as they're going around and all that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Big task.
Good job. Okay. All right. Any staff comments? Wade?
Paul, do we need to do anything with that Arbor Day
I'll get it.
proclamation?
I was going to.
Ron has it.
Yeah.
Wade Orm, Parks Division Head. I'm just here tonight because of the proclamation for the Arbor Day, and also to announce that the Cedar City has been awarded the Tree City USA Foundation Award, and this is our 20th year. So they give us a nice little thing that we'll give to the mayor. But 20 years in a row that Cedar City has put forth the effort to better our community by taking care of our urban forestry, by planting trees, so forth and so on, things like that. So it's kind of a neat thing for us. Hopefully we can make it to 25 and 30. So
Congratulations.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks for
great.
heading that up.
Thanks, Wade.
Thank you for your efforts with that.
Okay, you got anything else or I'll
No,
read this.
no. So as you read that, our goal was to have the Arbor Day celebration on the 26th, which is the actual National Arbor Day. We've been working with the schools. It's trying to get some kids there. It hasn't quite worked out yet. We're still going to have that day be our city Arbor Day, but we will probably celebrate it in May. We have one school that is wanting to participate, but they can't do it till May sometime. So we'll actually hold our celebration in May, but we'll still have our actual official Arbor Day as in the same day as the National Arbor Day, the 26th. Thank you.
All right. I will read the proclamation that the mayor's prepared.
Cool. Thanks, man.
It says, whereas the legislature of this state has adopted an act designating Arbor Day, and by that act has designated the last Friday in April as Arbor Day, and whereas it is the purpose of the designation of this day throughout the nation to encourage the planting of shade and forest trees, to encourage the harvesting of our forest crops by approved conservation methods, and to encourage the protection of our forests from the scourge of devastating fires, insects, and diseases that destroy the beauty and usefulness of our woodlands as well as their wildlife. And whereas through the cooperation of all residents of Cedar City, Utah, the beneficial effects of forest tree plantings, proper conservation practices in harvesting timber, and the protection from the natural enemies of the forest can be materially increased, and we can pass on an enduring heritage of a vital natural resource to succeeding generations. Now, therefore, I, Miley Wilson, Mayor of Cedar City, Wilson Edwards, that should be on. Cedar City, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 26th, 2019 as Arbor Day in Cedar City, and urge everyone able to do so to observe this day by the planting of one or more trees and by participating in one or more programs that the sponsors of Arbor Day may provide. Given under my hand and seal of the city of Cedar City, the 17th day of April, 2019. Mayor Wilson Edwards. Okay.
Good.
So we'll look forward to your day, Wade, when you get that organized. Okay, is there any other staff comments before we move on?
Just one quick mention on the spring cleanup. We've been at it now for a while, and occasionally we run into some folks that are less than happy with some of the services we provide. Just if you have neighbors that are a little grumpy about it, a little civility goes a long way with us, and we'll try to be civil with our customers as well. So that's it.
Okay, thanks. All right, then we'll move into the public agenda with the public comment portion. If you have an item you'd like to bring before the council, now's the time to do that. If it's not an item that's on the agenda, you can do that when we get to that point. But if it's something else you'd like to bring up to the council, you can come forward now and state your name and be as brief as possible. Wow. Seeing none? Okay. I know you're getting itchy
okay,
down
Tom?
there, Tom, but shaky
Rocking.
leg. Okay. All right. Seeing none, we'll move into our business agenda then with our public items. Number one is consider approving the final plat for the Shadow Ridge Townhomes PUD. Go
Dallas
civil,
Buckner go
Dallas.
civil. So it's a PUD. I don't know if we have the no maps today, but it's a PUD project over on Northfield. We've gone through vicinity plan, approved construction drawings, all that.
I don't think I had any questions other than it doesn't really state how many units or how large it is. I thought we might have something to look at tonight, but
Don't have an exhibit for that for some reason.
You know how many units are contemplated?
It's in the 60s. I could probably get the exact number, but we have it where it's 60. There's a couple fourplexes, threeplexes, twoplexes. There's the common area in the middle. Has the horseshoe shaped road called Northfield Circle. And then we have the breakdown of the units. There's a detail on the final plat. that has patios, buildings, all that, and then the driveways are limited common. So
And I know it got a positive recommendation from the planning commission.
yep.
Okay. Have any other questions or comments?
Nope.
Staff and all? Okay. Guess we can put this on consent. Thank you,
Okay,
Dallas.
thanks.
Okay, under staff portion of the agenda, item 2, consider a resolution for the municipal wastewater planning program. Eric Bonzo. See you, Eric.
Council staff, it's good to be here tonight. I don't get here very often.
Always welcome.
I know. As you know, every year I'm required to complete and submit to the state of Utah and the Division of Water Quality our annual municipal wastewater planning program. And again, this year it has to be submitted electronically and be presented to the council. So I'm going to give you an overview of our MWPP report on the sewer collection system and our wastewater treatment plant for 2018. And just kind of go with that. With the wastewater collection system that serves Cedar City and parts of Iron County, there were 0 sanitary sewer backup overflows for 2018. We maintained over 220 sewer lines and over 4,000 manholes. We cleaned 40.7 miles of sewer line within the city last year, and we videoed 42.2 miles. We completed 19 major sewer line repairs that were in critical repair need. We still run and maintain seven active sewer lift stations within the city. There were 284 new residential sewer connections last year within Cedar City and Iron County. 16 new commercial sewer connections for a total of about 994 new people served on the system. Right now, we have about 7,335 effective residential sewer connections and about 1,815 commercial connections in Cedar and Iron County for a total of sewer connections of 9,150. Like I says, we had 0 sewer backups again this year, which is just a great accomplishment for this department. We're still cleaning and videoing these lines on a 4-year maintenance cycle. And I'm very blessed to have a great staff on my collection crew that gets the job done. So they do a good job. The wastewater treatment plant, which serves Cedar City, Enoch, and parts of Iron County. Approximate total population serves about 40,437. We had 0 bypasses or overflows for 2018. There was 1 exceedance for permit effluent requirements where we were hit with a very toxic load last spring that really put us in disarray for a while, but we got through it. Average influent flow for 2018 was 2.8 million gallons per day going through the treatment plant. Our average biological oxygen demand, that's the strength of the wastewater that comes in that we have to treat, was about 276 milligrams per liter. Our effluent BOD was 9 milligrams per liter. Average BOD loading on the plant was about 6,259 pounds per day. Our design on that's about 12,000. So we're setting pretty good. Average total suspended solids coming in the plant was 256 milligrams per liter. Effluent TSS was 6.6. Average TSS loadings in pounds per day is about 5,894. Design on the plant's right around 11,000. So we're setting pretty good there too. The total effluent inorganic nitrogen that the state is really ramped up on all these plants to and give them pretty stringent numbers on their effluent permits. We ran about 4.2 for an average all year, which is really, really good. We produced about 767 dry tons of unclassified biosolids, which was up about almost 50 ton more than the previous year. Our new UPDS permit from the state of Utah, discharge permit, was issued and went into effect July 1st of 2018 with a renewal date of June 30th of 2023. So with that, is there any
The-
questions?
The citizenry need to understand what a project this is. This is a 45-page report that Eric goes through. And he has to answer all of these questions and be accountable for all of them. And I just think it's remarkable what you and your staff, your team do out there at the wastewater treatment plant. You do a marvelous job, and we just all
We're very
pretty much take
grateful
it for
that
granted. We pretty much take it for granted, but it is a marvelous thing.
Yeah,
So
it's a
thank you.
process.
Like I've said, I'm just really blessed on both ends with the wastewater treatment plant and the collection system. I mean, I have some of the best operators, in my opinion, in the state of Utah. They take a lot of pride in their work. They're dedicated to their job, and it shows. And I'd like to throw one other item in really quick. We attended the Water Environment Association of Utah's conference in St. George last week. It's an annual conference they have. And about a month prior to that, we were nominated for Outstanding Wastewater Treatment Plant in the state of Utah under 5 million gallons. And we were also nominated, one of our operators was nominated for Outstanding Operator of the Year, which is pretty cool, having two of them in the same year. And so they sent down some interview teams that come down and interviewed myself and Jeff, and toured the plant 2 different occasions. And we were awarded Outstanding Wastewater Treatment Plant in the state of Utah last week at this WIA conference, as well as Jeff was awarded Operator of the Year in the state of Utah. Jeff, you like to come up and share? And like I said, it's just
There
just
you go.
Way to go, Jeff.
it takes a lot of work by all these guys. They do a good job.
That's great. That's proof.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
proof of what a flawless operation we've got going.
It's not the most glamorous job in the world, and there's a lot of times where there's a lot of stressful nights and weekends and days, and because we got to get water from point A to point B, it can't stop in the middle. So
Well, I get to come to my first meeting with you next week, so I
Awesome.
look forward to learning a lot more about this.
well, okay. Any more questions?
Mayor, may I just make one comment while he's up there still?
Sure.
Good evening, Tom Jett. There's something the public doesn't know also, that the way we were discharging our solids was costing great deals of money. And Mr. Bonzo and staff have worked out an agreement with the county and brought the cost of disposal of those solids down. Like, I can't even imagine how many tens of thousands of dollars, because they were charging us the same as they would charge for regular trash. But through good thought and forward planning and forward thinking, we've saved a lot of money that we can put toward other improvements in this city and in this plant. So my thanks too.
Thank you.
Great job, Eric.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Item number 3 is to review proposals to design a secondary clarifier at the wastewater treatment plant. Trevor's gonna give us this.
Thank you. City Council, Trevor McDonald in the City Engineering Department. We have recently advertised for proposals to add a new secondary clarifier to the treatment plant. On this aerial image up here, these are the secondary clarifiers at the plant currently. And we're proposing that another one is needed that can fit right here next to the other clarifiers. Anyway, we had 2 proposals that came back. One was from Carollo, the other from Stantec. Both have worked heavily in this plant. They have experience with this plant. I think we feel very confident that they know what they're dealing with here. They were competent responders to the proposal here. And the evaluation committee met. We scored the evaluations, and we scored Stantec higher than Carollo, and would like to move them along for recommendation for award. There's a couple issues that we have. The budget was set at $300,000 for this project, and both Stantec and Carollo came in a little over budget. I think Carollo was around 310, somewhere in there, 310 and change. Stantec was around 337,000. Again, the budget was 300,000. We feel in the evaluation committee as a whole, we feel that Stantec presented a better solution, that they were more intimately aware of current problems that the plant is facing, and that their design team would give us a little bit more one-on-one attention and the time needed to accomplish this design to meet our specific needs. So the recommendation from the committee again is to present Stantec for award and to recommend a budget modification to accommodate that additional fee of $337,540 for design and engineering services.
Are you able to share that scoring with us? That wasn't included in the packet. And since there is a difference in the bids and we're not taking the low bidder, I like to see if there's what factors it was before we make a decision next week,
Sure.
if that's okay.
Sure. I could have this emailed out to you, or there wasn't a write-up that, was there any write-up that came through?
There was a write-up,
There's a
but it
write-up,
didn't,
but
it
yeah.
didn't have the actual scoring
Okay.
in there.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'll compile the score breakdowns and
Yeah, maybe a summary
Item in.
sheet with.
Yeah,
the
give us a little
areas.
summary so we can, like it's documented. If we're not
Sure.
picking that low
In
bidder, I
narrative-
like to see that.
Narrative, I think you made it pretty clear.
Yeah.
Right.
Santec put their best foot forward, but we just like
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We will. I'll scan those in and email them. I'll probably want that to city recorder. Do we need that recorded too down? Okay. I'll email it out to you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
thanks.
Are there any other questions with this?
So on the budget, there's sufficient fund balance. We would have to go through the amendment process, but even if you awarded it 1st of May, I'm highly doubtful that they'll draw down that low before the end of this budget year.
Yeah, not knowing all the details on the next fiscal budget, but I feel like we can put that in the next budget if that's the most appropriate
Was
way.
it 37?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
37,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, Trevor.
Okay. Item number 4 is let's see, I guess we can put these on consent, right?
Well,
Or
do you,
do you want to
with the
hold that one?
resolution, do you have to
So the resolution needs to go on the action.
action?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want
I forgot, but this one, do we want to keep this one off till we see those numbers?
to, well, there's that to consider. And then the other two members that aren't here tonight might want to
Okay.
make some
So we'll
That's
put
fine.
on
discussion.
action then. Okay. All right. All right. Item 4, consider an ordinance amending chapter 32-8 regarding fencing requirements for PUD developments.
I'll just have Don come up and talk about this. He's the one that's been most involved with that, writing up the proposal, the proposed amendment. So.
Don Boudreau, Engineering. Thank you, Council. So this is a pretty minor change to the fencing requirements for PUD developments. Currently, for a PUD, it requires a 6-foot side obscuring masonry wall around the entire perimeter of the whole development. And this change generally, sometimes you have a PUD development where the houses front the street. You've got garages, traditional driveways. So it looks, in front's like a more traditional development. And placing those fences in the front yard at 6 feet doesn't serve a real function. It looks kind of awkward. You'd have a driveway and then a 10-foot fence and then a driveway and a 6-foot fence. So this is just kind of a cleanup to eliminate those front yard fences. And those fences would only apply to condominiums, all your multifamily or attached multifamily type developments. So we think it's just kind of a common sense little addition to the fencing around PUDs.
Okay, so in reading in there, you'd still have the concrete fencing, right?
Currently, it still reads masonry.
Or masonry, yeah, around the rest of it, even though I see what you did in the front, but.
Correct.
Okay,
So will I have regular curb and gutter then on those frontages?
Because, it would be fronting a
Sidewalk and whatnot where it's on a
So in this
city
case,
street?
you'd have your standard engineering improvements, curb gutter, sidewalk.
Okay.
oh, so that would be different than a PUD that stands alone where they just have a rolled
Right.
curb.
So this is where they just front the street.
Yeah.
Like a
Okay.
traditional.
That makes
subdivision.
sense. Okay.
Would it eliminate a rolled curb? You might, in a PUD, we've had the rolled curbs before. Would that be available to these types of developments?
Wouldn't be because these are out fronting a city street, a dedicated street. We use the high back curb.
Yeah, I guess I
City
could do the
streets.
interior, but, okay,
Okay.
all right. Any other questions, comments?
Does it need to be like specified more in there to kind of clarify that if it fronts, that it needs to have that curb and gutter,
I think that's probably
or
spelled
is
out
that somewhere else, like that says if it's on a city street?
on our engineering specs.
Yeah. As far as the type of curb, the gutter, yeah, that's in our engineering spec. We don't even have an engineering spec for a rolled curb. So,
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
John.
Okay, all right. We'll put that on action then, and
Move to adjourn this meeting.
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
I.
Okay, thank you.
Doesn't take us all day to do these.